Welcome to the Voice of Truth. Jim Moore. It is absolutely awesome to be here with you, bringing these teachings to you. I really enjoy it. And I will have to say, it is hot in here. I'm sweltering. I don't know, we got this little room here going on and it is hot. I have to go check the AC and see what's going on. This week, I hope you've enjoyed what we've been bringing, the woman at the well, Jesus tempted in the wilderness, the blind man, all this stuff. Today I want to look at something out of John's Gospel. I'm calling this Come and See, WWJD, what would Jesus do? But I'm calling this WWJS. How about that for an acronym? Let me give you the verses here and then we'll talk about it. This is in the Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 43. The next day he decided to go to Galilee and he found Philip. Jesus said to him, "Follow me." Now Philip was from Bethsaida, the city of Andrew and Peter. Philip findeth Nathanael and said to him, "We have found him of whom Moses wrote in the law, and the prophets also wrote, Jesus, the son of Joseph from Nazareth." Nathanael said to him, Can anything good come from Nazareth?" Philip said to him, "Come and see." We'll stop with the reader right there. We'll come back into that. I said, what would Jesus do? Let me start with that just for a quick second. Now, in the church that I grew up in, we didn't use that acronym ever. But when I came out of that, man, you're kind of bombarded with it. And, what would Jesus do? People had the bracelets and, this question became a slogan. People had T-shirts, they had hats, they had hoodies. Pastors used to use the question to title sermons. What would all of this stuff. It's amazing how this goes. Let me give you just a bit of history here. Then we'll come back to this because I've been studying so much and learning so much here of late. It's kind of mind blowing, really. But how the original spirit of the Jesus movement lost its momentum as it got institutionalized. Now, there's a lot right there, and we're going to come back to this, but I think this is kind of important, relevant to the story, what would Jesus do? Because it has the idea, what would Jesus do? Is I'm here in this situation. Jesus is up there. God, who knows where God is at, and I'm here. So I got to somehow try to figure out how Jesus would react or respond to this situation. Now remember, this is how the original spirit of the Jesus movement lost its momentum as it got institutionalized. How did we lose the ability to speak truth to power and empire? Now that's a whole nother lesson in itself right there. Truth to empire. I would really love to go down that road, but man, I'm trying to focus on some of the small stuff right here. But in Jesus' time here, what we're looking at in these Gospels, and this is John, the Gospel of John chapter 1, Jesus is just now being known, coming on the scene. Jesus offered an experience, okay? An experience, as Adam knew Eve and she conceived. I mean, an intimate experience. This experience, I'm kind of giving you a little timeline history here, just so you know how it lost its momentum, and I hope we can get back maybe and see a little bit of that today. In Israel and in Judea in these times, Jesus offered an experience. It moved to Greece and became a philosophy as time went on. Then it moved to Rome and it became organized religion. Rome and Constantinople, it became the Roman Catholic Church. Now, when I say that I'm not against Catholics, okay, let me say that right out of the gate. I'm not against Catholics, but they had to say Roman Catholic because of their view of God and empire and all of these power kind of things. They lost this experience. Okay, it became heaven and hell and punishment and torture and purgatory and all of these kind of things. It moved from Rome to Europe, and in Europe it became culture. Okay, we have later on Martin Luther in Germany. It became culture. Then it moved to America and it became a business. So it started out what it was meant to be was experience. Then it moved to philosophy. Then it moved to organized religion. Then it moved to culture. Then it moved to business. And you can see that in all different shapes or forms. And here we have WWJD, what would Jesus do, with the bracelets and the, all of those kind of t-shirts and everything. What would Jesus do? But the goal, and I know they meant well. I know they meant well. Think about the situation. How would Jesus react to this? They're still being propagated, still being preached today. And it was to encourage people to orient their lives around Jesus. I understand all that. I'm not against this. I'm not down in it. I understand, okay? I mean, the question of Jesus was here and now facing this situation. What would he do? And I think, and as I think and reflect on Jesus' encounters with his disciples, I wonder if we might shift the WWJD, what would Jesus do, question, from what would Jesus do to what would Jesus see. Now think on that statement for just a few minutes. What would Jesus see? Because after all, the Jesus of the gospel spends a lot of time looking and noticing and discerning. Looking, noticing, and discerning. I think the scripture here that comes to my mind is in Isaiah chapter 11. I have a new Bible here, so I haven't made it through every page yet. I just had the Bible about 2 weeks, so sometimes the pages stick together. So you have to bear with me. It says, "Then a shoot will spring from the stem of Jesse, a branch from his roots will bear fruit. The Spirit of the Lord will rest on him. The Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and strength, the Spirit of knowledge and the fear of the Lord. And he will delight in the fear of the Lord. And he will not judge by what his eyes see, nor make decisions by what his ears hear. But with righteousness he will judge the poor and decide with fairness for the humble of the earth." I'll just go on and read the rest of this verse. "And he will strike with the earth. He will strike the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips he will slay the wicked." That's Isaiah chapter 11. The Spirit would rest on him, this spirit of discernment. I think it's interesting that in the qualifications of the priesthood, it says you couldn't have a flat nose. That's kind of weird, isn't it? Qualifications, I believe it's in Exodus. I didn't look this up, just kind of came to me on the spur of the moment. Couldn't have a flat nose. Now what that means is, really, when you chase all of that out to understand what it means no discernment. Flat nose really meant no discernment. Like you can smell, and I know naturally you can say, "Oh man, somebody's cooking an apple pie, I smell it, boy," and automatically I'm getting hungry because I smell it. But spiritually speaking, discernment is what we're talking about here. Discernment. So Jesus has this discernment. So instead of what would Jesus do, what would Jesus see? What would Jesus discern here? What would Jesus discern? Man, and really that is huge here. So maybe we should begin where Jesus begins. Again, if he was here right now, what would he see? And in the scripture here from John's gospel is this skeptic named Nathanael. He journeys from doubt to faith. He experiences, again we go back to this word experience, he experiences an epiphany. What would be the thing for epiphany? An yeah. I don't know. Who can explain it? He experiences an epiphany, discovering for himself that Jesus of Nazareth is in fact the Son of God, the light that has come into the world. This is what he experiences. And I just want to pause here for a second and say, this is huge. This is huge. This is what they had all been looking for. The promise that goes all the way back in the Jews, it goes all the way back to Genesis chapter 2, you know, the seed of the woman. They had been waiting for Messiah, the Christ, for thousands and thousands of years. And if you've been waiting that long, you know what I have to say, you might be a little bit skeptical too. You may begin to say, how long, O Lord? How long? I mean, this is a great mystery, right? This Christ, this is mysterious. Again, let me read to you from the Gospel of, under the Gospel, out of Ephesians chapter 3. Let's see. Maybe I'll just start in verse 14. For this reason I've been by knees before the Father, from whom every family in heaven and in earth derives its name. Wow. That he would grant you according to the riches of his glory to be strengthened with power through his Spirit in the inner self, so that Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith, and that you being rooted and grounded in love may be able to comprehend with all the saints what is the width, the length, the height, the depth, and to know the love of Christ which surpasses knowledge, that you may be filled with all the fullness of God. I was looking for this word, maybe it's in the King James Bible here. Like I said, I haven't read every page of this, but he's talking about this great mystery. Oh, right here, by referencing to this, when you read, you can understand my insight into the mystery of Christ, which in other generations was not known to mankind. This great mystery of Christ. And now Nathanael and the Jews and everybody, they've been looking and looking and looking and waiting, and he's going to have this epiphany that you are the Christ. This understanding. But how does he get there? I mean, this is very, very important. I mean, how in the world is Nathanael, in just a couple of verses here, going to go from being this skeptic, can any good thing come out of Nazareth, to beholding the Christ? How do we get there? How, again, philosophy's not going to get there. Philosophy's not going to bring you there. Culture's not going to bring you there. Institutionalized religion, none of that is going to bring you to organized religion, business, philosophy. The only thing is experience. And how does this experience begin? And I will say this as we close out this little lesson today. We're going to pick back up right here on Wednesday and close it out on Friday, hopefully. But this comes down to this question, this skeptic, And Nathanael's response, can any good thing come out of Nazareth? And I love what Philip says. Come and see. Come and see. So guys, tune in Wednesday. And let's not leave this mystery hanging. Join us Wednesday. Come and see. God bless you. Hey guys, Jim here. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you really enjoyed it. I really love bringing these things to you. I just wanted to say, if you really liked it, drop a like. Man, that really helps us out a lot. Hit the share button. Subscribe if you want to get notified when they're coming out. We come out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday as of right now. We got more teachings on Rhythms of Grace CommunityFellowship.com. You can find us right there. On there you'll find all the links to our podcast on Voice of Truth and Rhythms of Grace Community Fellowship. And it'll also take you to our YouTube for these channels, Rhythms of Grace CommunityFellowship.com. You can find everything right there. Again, thank you. Leave us a comment, hit subscribe. Guys, again, thank you so much for watching this. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time. God bless.